Coming up on News 12 at 9, an early morning fire burns a house to rocks and rubble, leaving a couple without a home. Plus, the president and Congress continue to deliberate over possible military action in Syria. And a texting and driving accident leads to a teachable moment from the father of the driver. News 12 at 9 starts now.
The only newscast in true high definition, broadcasting live from 12 studios. This is News 12 at 9 p.m.
Good evening and welcome to News 12 at 9. I'm Allison Harris in for Scott McClendon. A Fannin County father has a bold warning for those who text and drive after his teenage daughter crashed her car while reading a text. Alexandra Carter spoke to both the father and the daughter. She brings us the story.
Raise this up so she can come out this window because it was on inside.
After rolling her car on August 18th while reading a text message, Fannin County resident Cheyenne Davis says she wishes she would have waited to read that text.
And don't text and drive because it's not worth it.
She says the text message was so insignificant she doesn't even remember what it said, but the accident has taught her a valuable lesson.
Just text and drive now? No.
No. Why?
Because I learned from it.
Cheyenne's father, Jason White, says his daughter is lucky to be alive.
When we drove up, she was on her side against a tree. The only avenue of escape was that back window, because everything else was blocked.
By placing her wrecked car out front of his Bonham business, White hopes he can share the lesson with the community.
It's about awareness and personal responsibility more. You can't legislate morality. I mean, you just can't do it. It's about personal choices.
Every day across the U.S., 11 teenagers die from a texting and driving related car accident. 39 states now prohibit drivers from texting while driving, but neither Texas nor Oklahoma have a law. White sees the dangers of texting while driving, but sees the benefit of cell phones as well.
The phone contributed to the accident, but she'd have never been able to call us, so we got there so fast. And who knows what would have happened if anybody would have even seen her out there.
Other young drivers we talked to say they've seen enough accidents from texting and driving. They don't do it anymore.
Recognize it. I don't need that experience.
Yeah, like I told you, I've seen it up front. I seen it on the side of me. And I don't want to take no chance.
In Fannin County, Alexandra Carter, News 12.
A flipped SUV and connected trailer caused major delays on Highway 82 this afternoon. Sherman police say two people in their 60s traveling from Arizona swerved on Highway 82 near 1417, then overcorrected, causing their SUV to roll over and the trailer to land on its side. Both people were transported to the hospital, treated, and released. A dog was saved from the wreck, but two other dogs involved in the accident are missing. Minutes after that accident, a second crash occurred just west of there due to traffic delays. Sherman police say the silver and black cars in this video were at a complete stop on the highway when a gold car failed to yield and slammed into the back of them. No one was injured in the accident. Two Durant residents are without a home this evening after an early morning fire shook up their neighborhood. Stephen Powell has the story.
I heard the sirens, and I thought, those are awful close.
David Coxey lives across the street and was one of the first on scene.
And that's when I seen the flames reaching 10 foot and up in the air.
It was around 3 Thursday morning on Wilson Street in Durant.
When the initial company arrived, they found the house was fully involved.
Coxey says his lifelong friend Jim Ewing owns the house, but says only Ewing's girlfriend was home at the time. She made it out safely.
And I talked to her just for a few minutes, but she was kind of in shock. And like I say, she'd burned her arm.
He says she burnt her arm when she went back inside to try to rescue the couple's two dogs, but the dogs didn't make it.
You know, they're just like family, and she wanted them out, but, it was just impossible.
Fire Chief Roger Joynes says the house is a total loss.
Oh, the crews were on here at least probably 6 o'clock. They were here a good 3.5 hours.
He says with dry conditions, they had to fight grass fires around the house as well.
It could have spread if the guys didn't see it early enough.
Coxey says the fire is a shock to the whole neighborhood. calling the house a landmark.
It's been here for years. I mean, it's, you know, everybody's come by here. It's, you know, it's just one of those old rock houses that you don't see very many of them left.
He says the couple is staying with relatives. He says he's helping out his friend any way he can.
I'm just glad, pray the good Lord that everybody got out safe.
Joynes says they're still investigating the cause of the blaze. In Durant, Stephen Powell, News 12.
Bogue Chitto residents are asked to conserve water after one of the town's 2 water wells went out. Town Treasurer Melissa Scott says the more than 50-year-old well broke, leaving just one other well as backup. Tonight, town leaders made a proclamation for a Stage 5 drought, meaning residents cannot water their lawns, vehicles, or fill their pools. Scott says the town is working on building a new well, but it won't be finished for months. The Ada Police Department is one of 6 Oklahoma law enforcement agencies receiving the Attorney General's Safe Oklahoma grant. The $100,000 grant will help local law enforcement better respond to violent crimes. Ada Assistant Police Chief Jeff Crosby says the funds will help them pay officers working overtime and will allow them to patrol more extensively.
We're going to put officers in there in these areas with those grant funds, and they'll be patrolling, they'll be enforcing the laws, there'll be more of a police presence in the areas where we need a police presence.
Crosby says residents can expect to see more officers patrolling on foot and bike. A man has been arrested after waving a firearm at an off-duty Marietta firefighter. Stephen Good has been charged with pointing a firearm feloniously. Good allegedly pointed a firearm at the firefighter while they both drove down I-35 in separate vehicles. The Love County Sheriff's Office says Good was arrested on Highway 77 and Campbell around 4 p.m. Wednesday. Good's bond has not been set. A Durant woman is in custody after police say she fled the scene of an accident. Police say Jennifer Lee Blackwell was involved in a crash on Main Street that injured the other driver. Police later found her after witnesses described her vehicle. Blackwell is charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving injury and no vehicle insurance. A 2-month drug investigation has led to the arrest of 2 people in Ardmore. Justin Wilson and Nicole Gust were arrested Tuesday after a joint investigation by the Carter County Sheriff's Office and the Lone Grove Police Department. A search of their residence found meth and an AK-47 and counterfeit $20 bills. Both were charged with trafficking illegal drugs, possessing a firearm, and unlawful use of a police radio. Wilson bonded out last night. Gust is being held on an $80,000 bond. Tonight's weather running very warm with some 90s still showing up on the map. Chief Meteorologist Steve Lenore joins us in the Weather Center with the latest. Steve.
Well, Allison, the reason for the warm night is this big upper high parked over us, which we've been talking about all week, and it has definitely delivered the heat as expected. This hour, we're still at 92 degrees in Sherman. We've got 90 in Paris, elsewhere hugging to the mid-80s from Ardmore back to Hugo, and Ada at 81 along with Tishomingo for the lowest end of the scale. Winds are east, southeast now, but they're back to southwest tomorrow, and that boosts the temps once again. So we're talking about temperatures tomorrow that might even be a little hotter than today. I've got those numbers when I come back.
The White House and members of Congress are briefing regarding the possible use of military force in Syria. Tension is rising as the world waits for President Obama to make a decision. Fox News correspondent Craig Boswell has more from Washington.
The White House says a U.S. military response to the use of chemical weapons in Syria will not lead to an open-ended conflict and rejected comparisons to the Iraq War.
What we're talking about here is something that's very discreet and limited.
It echoes a statement by President Obama about comparisons of recent rhetoric and the run-up to the invasion of Iraq.
Not getting drawn into a long conflict, not a repetition of Iraq, which I know a lot of people are worried about.
Some analysts take issue with the concept of a decisive but limited strike.
The idea that something can be decisive but limited. Decisive means it decides something. That's the end game. Limited is the opposite. It's limited.
While top administration officials briefed key lawmakers via teleconference about an unclassified assessment of the situation in Syria, some lawmakers say more communication is necessary.
Having a phone call on an unsecure matter is not going to allow people to ask the questions that we need to get answered so that we can buy into where the president's going.
President Obama briefed House Speaker John Boehner on the phone this afternoon. Boehner's spokesman says they discussed the legal justification for a military strike as well as objectives. President Obama also spoke to the German chancellor today. At the White House, Craig Boswell, Fox News.
The British Parliament has voted against military action in Syria. The measure lost by just 13 votes. The U.S. State Department says that vote will not deter the U.S.'s possible use of military action. Coming up on News 12 at 9, Austin College's newest class moved in today, over 350 strong. Plus, Plainview shows off its multi-million-dollar renovations, including a remodeled football stadium. News 12 at 9, we'll be right back.
From the Weather Authority, here's Steve Lenore.
Well, now the big weekend's getting awfully close, and the heat is upon us as well. Now tonight, we had a little band of cloud cover off to the west, and it did a good job of scattering out some beautiful pinks and oranges here on our TMC Tower Cam image, brought to you by friends at Glen Polk Autoplex and Supercenter in Gainesville. And we take a look at some numbers, and they were definitely on the high side today. 102 Sherman. Now that was 3 degrees short of the record, but plenty hot, and 100 Ardmore, 6 degrees short of your record there. That goes back quite a ways. And tonight we're still at 92 in Sherman. We've got 90 in Paris, 89 now in Hugo, and we've dropped to 80 now for the updated temperature for you in Ada. You can see on the sat right here, boy, not much to look at. That's a little band of cloud cover that helped to give us a nice sunset here across central Oklahoma. But outside of that, really just a high and dry, typical situation when you have upper level high pressure, the air sinks, and that tends to erode the cloud covers. That's why you don't see much underneath the upper high. The high is going to be shifting off to the west, but it's really a very large circulation, controls much of the southern U.S., and there's a little bitty low pressure area right in here on the north side of the high. It's going to slide on down through western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma over the weekend, but It is just so dry. I think all we're looking at are a few clouds with that on Saturday. I'm not expecting any rain with that feature. But I want you to notice upstream here how the covers start to change from green, from orange to green, and that's just some cooler air comes down from the north around the top of the high. A little front coming in Monday. I do have a small chance of rain for Labor Day with that, but since we don't have any upper level support, we've got the high aloft instead of a low. Not looking for a big rain event. In the meantime, you can see the front kind of coming down in northern Oklahoma on Saturday, and then it stalls there. It'll come through here if it makes it Sunday night, Monday morning, and not a very dramatic front. Won't cool off much, but it could trigger a shower Sunday night or Monday. I'm going for a whopping 10% chance of rain with that. In the meantime, they'll notice the winds are out of the southwest, bringing on the heat again tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. So in the morning, on your Friday morning, getting off to the big holiday weekend start with temperatures in the low 70s. Now, folks, if you're going to be on the roads this weekend, please take it easy. A lot of other folks are going to be out there, too. We want to keep it safe for everybody if you can. Both hands on the wheel, put the seatbelt on, all those good things. 70 degrees, Ada and Tishomingo, 72 in Atoka. We're looking at about 72 also for in Hugo and 73 in Paris. And around 76, one of the warm spots, which is typical here on these summer nights, Sherman Denison. Now, in the afternoon, we're back into a southwesterly wind just like we had today. We're going to run about 6 to 12 on that, and it's going to be hot. 103 degrees, pretty common. 101 to 102 in our eastern counties, about 102 as we head up to Ada and down the Tishomingo and heading west. Maybe popping 104. That'd be on the high end. So we're looking at about 102, 103 for most of us, and 103 is what I have on the map for tomorrow with the words that we know so true, very hot. Now, there is a small chance of a shower on Monday, on Labor Day at 10%. So I don't think we're looking at any major threats from the skies this weekend, except for that blazing sun.
Yeah.
Gotta do something about that.
Brutally hot outside, and that's what we have ahead of us for this weekend.
Folks need to stay hydrated and be careful,
That's
okay?
really important. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Coming up on News 12 at 9, the city of Denison announces finalists for their city attorney position. The new school year has brought some exciting changes for Plainview schools in the form of millions of dollars of renovations. Lauren Smith has the story.
Very exciting, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been very busy, but very exciting.
Superintendent Carl Stricker says over $4 million worth of ongoing renovations from a bond that was passed a couple years ago has both teachers and students stoked for the new school year.
I think it's exciting for both just because there is so many things going on, from the football fields, renovations, to our classrooms and stuff.
Sixth grade teacher Alicia Foster says the renovations include new classrooms, bathrooms, and lockers for the middle school, which they are now moved into.
It's really nice because all of the sixth graders are in one area this year, so it makes it really nice for them transitioning from the elementary.
Along with the middle school renovations, upgraded security features, and 5 new buses for Plainview, the football stadium is also receiving some major renovations.
Anytime we do something at Plainview, it's kind of a big deal because we've always been known as a small country school.
Rocky Atencio, who is a parent and coach at Plainview, says everyone can't wait to see the newly renovated stadium in a few weeks.
Obviously, Plainview is growing. I mean, it's an exciting time to be a Plainview Indian.
In Ardmore, Lauren Smith, News 12.
Hundreds of college freshmen are spending their first night in their new homes tonight. Austin College freshmen moved into the dorms today. Upperclassmen helped guide the new students. The day had a green mission as members of Think, a green awareness group, collected empty cardboard boxes for recycling.
We're hoping that that's a good surprise and that they're excited that we care about recycling and that we're passionate about that, and that's something that our school wants to continue throughout the year.
More than 360 freshmen settled in today, including 19 international students, which is a record for Austin College. The city of Denison has announced the finalists in the search for the new city attorney. Courtney Goodman Morris, Francis Crumpler, Wes Wadle, and James Parker are the 4 finalists. Crumpler is from Arkansas, and the other 3 are Texas residents. Mayor Jared Johnson says they'll bring all 4 candidates to Denison for in-person interviews at the end of September.
These type of positions are oftentimes hard to fill, and we had just a really high caliber pool of candidates that we're able to pick from.
Johnson says he hopes to have a new city attorney by the start of October. Still ahead on News 12 at 9, our high school football tour takes a turn to Savoy, where we'll hear from the Cardinals. We'll be right back. Welcome back to News 12 at 9. The Savoy Cardinals are coming off a historic football season, and now they think they can be even better. That's in tonight's 2-minute drill.
The move to six-man was really great because it just felt like that's where we belong and we can compete against other schools our size and excel there.
It was an historic season for the Savoy Cardinals. Moving away from 11-man football, the Cardinals tried their luck at 6-man and found instant success, compiling a 10-1 record, earning the program's first district title and winning the school's first playoff game.
It was amazing. We had our stands full for the first time I can ever remember, and we had the town and the team and the school just all insanely excited.
First year in six-man, made it second round of the playoffs, and went undefeated till then.
With 21 lettermen returning, the Cardinals are the team to beat in District 12. Coach Clay Wilson will have a senior-led team that has high expectations of repeating as district champs and going further in the postseason.
We got a big senior group, and they've been around me for a long time, and it's going to be hard to let them go after the season, but we have very high expectations, and they share the same common goal with me.
It's an amazing change of culture for Savoy High School. The program struggled to put up wins in Class 1A, but since the change was made to drop to six-man last season, the Cardinals' future looks bright.
Playing for Thanksgiving week, and that's what we're here for. If we get to Thanksgiving week, you know, anything can happen for us.
It'd just be incredible to make a deep playoff run for me because it's my senior year, and just to see all my teammates' faces and stuff after we have success is just incredible.
Fly ball into center field, diving play by Ghost. Did he make it? Yes, he did, and Redmond applauds.
For the 2-minute drill, I'm Benjamin Nahar.
We'll have a final check of the forecast when we return. A Houston farm has a maze that is sure to amaze you. Dewberry Farms in Brookshire, Texas, about 35 miles outside Houston, is honoring first responders with a corn maze. This aerial view of the maze clearly shows 2 badges for fire and police, as well as EMS. You can also see spelled out below the badges, "Thank you." How cool is that?
That is awesome.
Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching.